Hi, hello everyone. This is Cool-lectables coming at you with another video, and today I want to talk about the 22 watches Audemars Piguet just announced ahead of Watches and Wonders. Now, normally for Watches and Wonders, brands typically wait till Watches and Wonders, which is in April, to announce all of their new watches for the upcoming year. However, AP has seemed to release all of their entire 2026 catalog early. I think this is a great decision on their part because there's a bit of a lull in watch announcements right now. We just had kind of the LVMH announcements because they don't attend Watches and Wonders, so we saw a lot of Omegas and things like that released recently. But Audemars Piguet does attend Watches and Wonder, so I'm surprised they're announcing it so early. But again, because there's a bit of a lull right now, I think it's a great decision. And 22 new watches, I mean, that is incredible news. It's going to be hard for everyone to kind of cover all these, but I'm going to try my best right now. And overall, having a quick glance at all of these, they're stunning watches. I mean, definitely some heavy improvements made, especially on the Code 1159. Less so on the Royal Oak and the Offshore, but definitely some improvements for each one. However, as will be the theme of this video, price upon request is a heavy moniker for a lot of these watches, and I think the cheapest one is around $32,000. So these are definitely not your everyday hardworking middle-class man watch. These are definitely high-end, mostly unaffordable for probably a lot of the people watching this video. Definitely for me, maybe I can save up for a while to get one of them, but it's definitely not going to be, the one I would want most out of this collection. So let's get into it. And speaking of 1159, that's the first watch we're going to talk about today. It's a new release with a self-winding flying tourbillon. This is definitely a high complication that we're starting to see a little more popular coming out recently, but price upon request for this watch. It's beautiful looking. It's a cool complication. Tourbillons are definitely very highly regarded, even though mostly useless in terms of watch function nowadays. But the Code 1159 did not have a ton of popularity recently. It's Audemars Piguet's attempt at like a dress watch, but it kind of came out a little more sporty. But what we're going to see in the 2026 release, they're definitely leaning way heavier into the dress watch aesthetic. So now they have the Offshore, that's kind of their most sporty, actual tool watch in a way, and then they have the Royal Oak, which teeters between definitely heavy sport, but also kind of that flashy flair, pop culture look that makes it a little more dressy as well, due to the high polish and shininess of it. And then you have the Code 1159, which they're really leaning into trying to make it a dress watch and trying to have this kind of complete 3-watch collection with all of these. So that's the Flying Tourbillon, beautiful piece. I'm not in love with I never really love when you have kind of like a champagne look on either a white gold or steel. So this probably isn't my favorite. I definitely, price upon request, not really worth me even trying on, to be honest, at that price. This next watch, however, is magnificent. It's another 1159. It's a perpetual calendar this time, and it has an open work dial, meaning you can see some of the technology, some of the gear springs, some of the metal workings in the back behind each of the discs for the perpetual calendar. Beautiful watch. I love the color aesthetics, the kind of very neutral, can go with anything. However, price upon request, as I mentioned, that's definitely going to be the theme of this video. So beautiful watch, but probably not going to be on my realistic bucket list. This next watch, however, is potentially my very favorite of the entire collection, and that is the Code 1159, the just self-winding. This is more the traditional 1159 that they've released, but instead of putting it on a rubber band and having it look more sporty, they went full into dress watch aesthetic here. So it's a rose gold watch with a black leather strap, and then it has kind of the black dial with the texturing and the indices being rose gold as well, framed date window. I think this looks beautiful. It actually has a price listed, so that's refreshing. $37,000 though. I get that it's a gold model and very prestigious brand, but oh my goodness, $37,000 is a lot for a watch on a strap. But that's sometimes to get your Royal Oaks, your steel Royal Oaks, that's the price of the game, right? But I think beautiful aesthetic. I would love to try this on, and definitely hope to in the future make content out of that for sure. And the next watch is kind of the same thing. It's 1159 self-winding, kind of their traditional one. Again, going into dress aesthetic. So you have kind of this old man watch, right? You have a white or silver dial, a gold circular case, and then a brown leather strap. Very traditional, very just timeless look. I think it looks great. I would also love to try that on. I would definitely lean towards the black dialed with the black strap on rose gold over this one, just because I think it looks a bit more modern for maybe a younger man, not to ick your watch taste. I also think this looks incredible too, but if I'm putting $37,700 plus tax into a watch, I'm going to put it into that black one for sure. Now we get into the Royal Oaks. So here's a perpetual calendar. It's another price on request. It's on a ceramic kind of bracelet. So not your typical steel or precious metal, but ceramic. Looks great. I think we saw this released a few weeks ago, actually. So this isn't a brand new release, but it's part of their 2026 catalog. It looks good. I think we've seen much better ceramic watches released from them in the past. So I love it. Beautiful watch. Love to own it, but not my favorite from them. The next watch, however, the Royal Oak, has a perpetual counter, but it has kind of a red moon phase. The red moon is very popular. Maybe there's one coming in 2026. If anyone's, into the stars and moons out there, please let me know. The moon complication is actually one of my favorite complications. So on a perpetual calendar from AP, I mean, that is totally what dreams are made of. Maybe if I ever hit the lottery, this would definitely be something I would consider. It's got the open case bag. It's got pops of kind of gold on some of the markers, like the date markers and things like that. So absolutely beautiful watch, but in terms of the working man, realistic owning, again, price on request, I'm not sure I would ever come into possession of that, but would love to try it on. I mean, absolutely stunning. The next watch is probably also my favorite watch that they've released this year. It's a gold Royal Oak, and it looks like it has a stone dial, maybe malachite. Not sure here yet. It's 18 karat gold, 10.5 thickness on a 41 millimeter watch. They also have a 37 millimeter variant. If you've ever tried on the Royal Oak, they definitely wear large. Most people will say, 41, that's like the hypest one. I actually personally love the 37 millimeter Royal Oak. I tried one on before. I think it fits way better proportionally. I think it's more comfortable. It's not as like digs into your wrist kind of. I think the 41, a lot of people complain about it digging into their wrist. So you also save a bit of money going for the smaller size. So this is a beautiful watch. Definitely kind of giving me Rolex vibes with the gold on the green look. But yeah, super beautiful, super classic, $81,000, and that's before tax. So yikes, at least they give a price. That makes me a little scared what the price on request means. Obviously, you're going to be looking at 6 digits at least for those. But yeah, beautiful watch, incredible. I'm sure in person it looks even better than some of these glams. The next Royal Oak is a jumbo, so this is a 39 millimeter, which is, in my opinion, probably the perfect proportion. Maybe 38 would be for a Royal Oak, but I think they wear much better than a 41. Again, this is price on request, and it's got the thin kind of open work on it. Nice watch. I imagine it's probably kind of hard to read. I know it's got black hour hands and kind of framed, the hour markers, but I don't know. This one, I'm sure it is incredible in person. I'd love to own it, but it's not doing it as much for me. And then we have some chronographs for the Royal Oaks. We have this rose gold one at $84,000, kind of their traditional one. Personally, I hate date windows in the 430, even from prestigious brands like AP. So for me, this is a hard no, but some of you may love it. If you have $84,500 plus tax sitting around. The next one is basically the same thing, but it's got a diamond bezel and a different dial. Beautiful chronograph. I'm sure in person it's absolutely stunning, but I think for that much I could buy a whole collection. I'd probably go with other things. Another chronograph, this one's in steel, however, so it's only $43,000. This is definitely the cheapest watch. Actually, no, the gold 1159s were cheaper, but for a chronograph from AP, $43,000, at least it's somewhat stomachable, but I don't think it's the best value for your buck. But hype, right? It would look cool on your wrist for sure. The next one is kind of a similar open work. It's just a double balance wheel. So that's cool. That's kind of an added complication. I'm sure it has a higher power reserve. I'm sure it's a bit more technical, a bit higher complications. So that's desirable. We have it at $103,000. It's gold, so at least, and on a gold bracelet, so at least it's somewhat stomachable. But personally, the looks of this, I mean, I know skeleton APs are super, super hype, but I would go with the green dial. The stone dial one I think looked more beautiful. And that's also this next one. This is the one I talked about earlier, but it's in the 37 millimeters. I think it's a great unisex watch. I think it's, I don't know. I give you my spiel. I think it's better proportioned, right? So this one's at $75,000, so a bit cheaper than the 41 millimeter. And then next we go into kind of the mini quartz Royal Oaks. So these are only at 28 millimeters, which is pretty small. I mean, definitely aimed at probably women, right? These are aiming towards women. You could see that in the dial, the kind of design of it. I think this is beautiful. At $38,000, you can get a Royal Oak in full gold. It's gonna look tiny on your wrist, but as someone who wears a tiny little tank, this would actually look larger than that. So I would kind of consider an all gold watch for the price of the 1159. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think the frosted gold ones look way, way better though. I think those are stunning. However, I would love to try on a smaller one and just kind of see proportionally, does it stack up well to the 37? Because I am starting to really get into vintage watches and the smaller aesthetic. So make fun of me all you want. I mean, this I would consider this over any of the Royal Oaks we've talked about, especially at that price point. The next one is basically a mini quartz Royal Oak as well. This one, however, is $46,000. It is gold as well, but it's a rose gold and it has diamond markers. I think the yellow gold one looks much better, but I do like the black dial. Now we're getting into the offshores. So when I had my appointment with AP and I tried on the watches, the offshore were definitely my least favorite. As you can tell, smaller the better for me almost. And these were just massive. I also think the design is kind of weird. They have these huge pushers on the outside of the case. It's got this very busy dial. I mean, people have made fun of the Land Dweller so much for having this kind of waffle pattern with numbers and whatnot. But this is a chronograph with this waffle pattern with a date in the 430 with kind of silver hour markers and hour indices. Hour indices, and then the hour and minute hands are kind of blending in, at least from the stock images. Maybe it looks better in person. And that's kind of a caveat here too. Like, definitely got to wait to judge until you see these things in person. That was me with the Land Dweller. I thought it kind of looked mid or average. And then when I saw it in person, holy crap, stunning, right? Looked like a Royal Oak. I mean, it looked very well balanced, the dial was beautiful, way better than in glams. So I have the feeling that's how this will be. But this Royal Oak is $64,000. And a lot of that's because it has the ceramic case. It's a new design, right? We have tariffs, all that. As far as Royal Oak offshore goes, this does look far improved from anything I saw when I went in to try on offshores. So I think it's a heavy improvement. I think at that price, God no, at least for me. But I'm happy those offshore fans have some great options. And the next one is now the steel option. This is kind of an army green color, self-winding. It's a chronograph again. For me, date window in the 430 again, so absolutely no. Also massive offshore, so no thank you. And busy dial, so no thank you. But it looks, if you're into offshore, it looks better than any of the offshores I've seen before 2026. The next one is a smaller offshore. So if I were to go the offshore, I would definitely go for this kind of self-winding diver offshore version. These are a bit smaller, they're less clunky. The pushers on the side are, it's got I guess this one has the helium escape valve kind of in the top, like Omega. So if you're super into that Omega aesthetic, here's a much higher end brand for you. It looks nice. The pink is kind of cool. Maybe pink is continuing to make a comeback. And the date window is actually color matched, and it's at the 3 3 o'clock hour window. So it looks nice. I don't know. For $33,000, I think I'd go with the mini Royal Oak Gold, but that's just me. This next one, I think, is the better colorway. This is kind of the teal blue. One might say Tiffany blue, right? If they stamp this with Tiffany on it, it'd go for crazy money. But yeah, I would definitely go with this one. I think the rubber strap looks great with it. The colors, and then yeah, color match date window is always nice. I'm not sure how I feel about the kind of helium escape valve kind of at the top like Omega does, and now looks like this offshore is doing. It looks okay. A little goofy looking in my opinion, but it's also annoying too to move the dial, or sorry, the bezel, to track kind of your hours. You have to like unscrew that and then twist it. As a diver, you can't really use that underwater, I don't think. Maybe APS technology you can though, like unscrew it without kind of letting water in. I'm not sure enough. I'm definitely no expert on that, but looks nice. I feel like I'd rather just buy a used steel Royal Oak at that point. The next one, we have another offshore, cool colorway. It's a little darker. It has hints of gold kind of on the indices and the hour markers. It's nice, $32,900, so you're paying, I think, an extra $100 or $200 on this one, probably for the splash of gold on it. No, sorry, same price. So same price for all three. They look nice. I think they look better than any of the options they had before. I think they look less busy than the options they had before 2026. So great options if you're into it. I'll repeat that on this one as well. The next one is interesting. It looks like a pocket watch made of platinum. So this is another price on request. This is, I think, for, repeat buyers, very high up clients. This is more kind of a, I don't know, flex piece. Maybe pocket watches are going to make a comeback. They probably should. They're very cool. If you're into the technology, they're bigger, so you can see the movements usually easier. This one obviously looks stunning. It's got like a tourbillon, and it's got a big date, and it's got a perpetual calendar, and or universal calendar. So it's got a lot more. It's got cool stuff on both sides. Very cool watch. Definitely never going to be obtainable for me. Again, if I can go visit and see it in person, would love to kind of take a video of it. But outside of that, it's probably the only exposure I'll ever have with this. And the last and final watch that they announced today for 2026 is definitely going to be the probably most talked about. It's the most unique watch. AP has actually added a new line to their watches. So there's now a fourth line that we're talking about now, and that is a jumping hour. So this is kind of a tank, just coincidence that I'm wearing it tank style. It looks like the Cartier Guilloche, but that was just released last year. However, this one definitely has different design language. The side of the case looks great. It's more like stacked and has different textures. The front dial looks kind of embedded almost. There's less of like a drop down. So it's more flush with the case and not framed by any gold like the tank is. It's more just flush into the bracelet. It also looks like the date is much larger than you usually see on a jump hour. It looks, at least from these glams, it looks like they kind of went with like a big date jumping hour, which I think is huge. I think that's definitely the problem with most jumping hours like Cartier, or if you're a fan of Nico Leonard's watch channel, he released one. The jumping hour date windows are just so small, it's hard to kind of read. And part of the huge thing is seeing the hour jump over, right? So when they make the date window the hour window so small, it kind of detracts from it. But this looks huge. It looks pretty easily readable on the minutes as well. I think this is definitely the most going to be the controversial topic. I think it's going to be very well liked. I think most of your other watch YouTubers are definitely going to be covering this one over any of the other ones because it's stunning, it's unique, it's, jumping hours are all the rage now. So yeah, just rose gold on this kind of black dial. It looks great. I would love to try this on. However, $71,000, $71,000 for a jump hour. Holy crap. Yeah, I mean, I love it, but I can't say it's worth liquidating that many of my collectibles for or saving up for that. I mean, that's maybe a retirement gift and you go down to only one watch, but would I choose a black, the strap's not even full gold for $71,000 plus tax. And by the time I can even afford it, it's probably going to be $100,000 or more at retail. So very cool watch. Again, not for the, I think, the hardworking man, as are any of these watches, really. I mean, these are definitely in your higher bracket. They're going with a different mindset than like Rolex, which is kind of, they want it to be your first nice watch to say, hey, I've made it, but they want to keep it around $10,000 to $15,000, at least for steel. That is not AP's brand. They make way less watches. Their attention to detail is a little better. Their finishing is a little better, if not a lot better. And they're definitely going for the high-end kind of look down upon people who like own a Rolex or have that be their first watch. So beautiful watches. I mean, a ton of them. Holy crap, this is going to be a long video. If you've made it this far, thank you so much. If you could please like and subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, some beautiful pieces. I'm super excited to see review videos start to leak out. I haven't seen any yet besides on the pocket watch. So let me know if you see any cool reviews and you can recommend them to me. But otherwise, let me know what you think of these watches. Please comment down below and let me know what your favorite one is. Yeah, I can't wait to head to AP and try some of these on. I'm definitely going to text my authorized dealer there to ask about those Kotal M59s. But price point is hard to stomach on those for sure. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. And can't wait to see you all on the next video. Bye. Take care. Happy collecting.